Uneasy peace. Seabrook is finally at peace, with zombies, werewolves, and aliens coexisting under the same banner of unity. Addison is leading the cheer squad, Zed is preparing for college, and Willa is learning to control her inner alpha. But during a full moon eclipse, strange black lightning cracks the sky, causing power outages across town. A mysterious fog descends, thick and icy, and creatures are seen lurking just beyond its veil. At school, whispers begin of a new kind of creature, neither undead, beast, nor alien. The principal tries to calm nerves, but fear begins to return to Seabrook. Zed suspects something is coming, but no one believes him until it's too late. The shadows emerge. Late at night, Bucky and Bree are chased by glowing-eyed figures near the old Seabrook tunnels. They escape, but Bucky is left shaken and claims the attackers vanished into thin air. Addison investigates and finds ancient writing on the tunnel walls. None of it matches alien, werewolf, or zombie scripts. The next day, a group of new students transfers into Seabrook High. They're pale, silent, and avoid daylight, calling themselves the Shadekin. Though polite, something feels off about them, especially their leader, a quiet teen named Nyx. Zed and Willa sense unnatural energy around them, especially during cheer tryouts. Cheer chaos. Addison invites the new students to join cheer to help them fit in. Nyx agrees, but during practice, a shadowy energy explodes mid-stunt, injuring a teammate. Zed confronts Nyx, who cryptically warns that Seabrook's light has blinded it to the dark below. That night, zombies around the neighborhood report strange dreams and feel drained. Eliza investigates and detects a dark frequency radiating from the school basement. Bonzo translates ancient markings and identifies them as warnings from the underworld. The gang realizes the Shadekin might not be entirely human or safe. Shadekin history. Addison meets with Nyx privately to learn more about their origins. Nyx reveals that the Shadekin are shadowborn beings banished centuries ago by Seabrook's founders. They draw strength from secrecy and shadows, but claim they're not evil, just misunderstood. Their realm was sealed away, and now that balance has shifted, the seal is breaking. Willa and Zed spy on the meeting and warn Addison not to trust Nyx. However, Addison feels a strange connection to him, possibly tied to her alien heritage. Eliza finds out that Seabrook rests above Shadow Gate that's starting to awaken. Nightfall Festival. Seabrook hosts the annual Nightfall Festival to celebrate unity under the eclipse. Nyx and the Shadekin perform a hypnotic shadow dance, casting a spell over the crowd. People begin to chant unknowingly in the ancient shadow tongue. Addison, immune due to her alien blood, sees what's happening and stops the performance. Zed is nearly taken over and has a terrifying vision of Seabrook consumed by darkness. The team realizes the festival was a ritual to weaken the barrier further. The cheer squad begins forming a plan, but the enemy now knows they're aware. Fading boundaries. Tunnels open beneath Seabrook High, oozing shadow energy into the town. Willa and Wyatt lead a team to investigate, finding growing corruption in the roots of the earth. They encounter a massive beast born of pure shadow, too strong to fight. They barely escape, and the Shadekin claim it's a guardian of their realm. Bree uses tech from Eliza to track the shadow's source, and confirms the Shadow Gate is fully awakening. Addison tries to rally the town, but many still believe the Shadekin are just a goth subculture. Zed begins to feel the shadows pulling at his zombie spirit, weakening his powers. The first fall, Bonzo is attacked near the school and falls unconscious, his zombie glow flickering dangerously. Zed is enraged and rallies the zombies, but Addison urges caution and diplomacy. Willa disagrees, leading a rogue werewolf strike against the Shadekin, but it backfires. The shadows retaliate, and a section of the forest becomes twisted and darkened permanently. Zed and Addison argue about how to move forward, straining their relationship. Eliza discovers a prophecy buried in an old zombie relic. It speaks of a light keeper who can seal the gate. The group realizes it may be Addison, but her powers remain unstable. Shadow School. Seabrook High is partially overtaken by shadows, forcing students to evacuate. The Shadekin take over parts of the school, turning classrooms into sanctums of shadow energy. Zed, Addison, Bree, and Eliza sneak inside to find out what they're planning. They discover a massive underground map pointing to the core, the heart of Seabrook's power. Nyx captures them but spares Addison, offering her a chance to join them, as she was never truly one of the light. Zed lashes out, but Nyx's power overwhelms him, forcing the group to flee. Tension grows among the friends as loyalties are tested and darkness spreads. The core beneath. The group discovers that the map found in the school leads to the Seabrook energy core beneath Town Hall. Legend says it's the source that powered both zombie tech and alien ships. Eliza suggests that if the shadows corrupted, Seabrook itself could fall into eternal darkness. They set out to reach it before the Shadekin do, but the path is crawling with shadow sentries. Willa reluctantly teams up with Bree, blending tech and werewolf tracking to outsmart their enemies. Addison feels her powers evolving. Her hair glows not just white, but a strange silver blue when near the core. Nyx appears, revealing that the core once belonged to their realm, and reclaiming it will restore balance on their terms. Rise of the Shadow Storm. As Seabrook's skies darken unnaturally, lightning infused with shadow energy begins hitting the town. Zed and Bonzo help rescue citizens, while the werewolves patrol the perimeter to hold the barrier. Addison's visions grow stronger. She sees glimpses of Seabrook from the past, present, and possible futures. Eliza deciphers more of the prophecy and believes Addison must undergo a trial inside the core. Reluctantly, the group agrees to help her descend into the heart of Seabrook's power. Nyx warns that facing the truth will cost her everything she knows about herself. Despite the risks, Addison enters the core alone, surrounded by glowing alien glyphs and pulsing shadow veins. Addison's trial. Inside the core, Addison is pulled into a vision realm, a place where shadow and light duel for control. She meets the ghost of her great-grandmother, who was once a light keeper but failed to stop the Shadekin's rise. Addison must confront memories of her fears, losing Zed, being different, being alone. She nearly drowns in a sea of shadow, but finds strength in the voices of her friends echoing through the void. Her alien blood, combined with Seabrook's light energy, transforms into a new form, the Twilight Spark. Emerging from the core, Addison is reborn, glowing with a radiant energy unseen before. Nyx watches from the shadows, visibly shaken, whispering, "The gate will fear her. Rally the tribes." With her newfound power, Addison reunites with the group and delivers an impassioned speech. Zed, still recovering from a spiritual drain, sees her and feels a new hope ignite. Willa bows in respect, pledging the full strength of the werewolves to the cause. Even the principal and town mayor admit the danger is real and call for full evacuation of civilians. Eliza activates a defense shield around the town using alien zombie tech fusion. Zed, Bree, Bonzo, and Wyatt plan a direct assault on the Shadekin's sanctum while Addison prepares to seal the gate. They only have one night left. The eclipse approaches, and with it, the moment the gate fully opens. Into the sanctum, the group infiltrates the shadow sanctum beneath Seabrook High, where the final ritual is already underway. Nyx and his council channel power into the gate, chanting in an ancient language that rattles the ground. Zed and Willa face off against elite shadow beasts, using synchronized teamwork like never before. Bree uses a hologram projection to confuse and scatter the Shadow Council's guards. Bonzo unleashes his inner rage, his zombie strength amplified by exposure to the core's light. Addison steps toward the gate, but a massive shadow figure, the Primordial, rises from within. Nyx pleads with her to stop, claiming the light will destroy everything, including them. The Primordial awakens. The Primordial is a colossal entity of swirling shadow and memories, birthed from the sealed realm. It absorbs energy from both the gate and the eclipse, growing larger by the second. Zed attempts to attack, but is swatted away, barely surviving the blow. Addison tries to reason with Nyx, but he declares that this is destiny, that shadows must return to balance the light. Eliza hacks into the gate's structure, trying to delay its full opening. 𝗭𝗲 leads the wolves in a howling counter-frequency that disrupts the primordial's energy momentarily. Time is running out. The eclipse has begun. The gate pulses, nearly wide open. Heart of the light. Addison floats toward the heart of the gate, glowing brighter than ever. She confronts the primordial within the mind realm and sees visions of all who came before her. There, she learns that true balance is not erasing darkness, but harmonizing it with light. Using the twilight spark, she sings a powerful song, a lullaby of unity echoing across realms. Nyx hears it and begins to falter. His eyes change as memories flood back of a time before corruption. The shadow council resists, but the light grows stronger with every verse. Outside, Seabrook's citizens hold hands, chanting and singing, lending their hope and power. Nyx's choice. Nyx finally breaks free from the shadow's grip and stands beside Addison. Together, they channel their opposing energies, light and shadow, to stabilize the gate. But the primordial lashes out in fury, dragging Nyx into the void. Addison screams, refusing to let him be lost. She dives in after him, risking everything. Inside, she finds him fading and sacrifices a portion of her light to bring him back. As they emerge, Addison begins to fade, but the townspeople's belief and unity reignite her. The primordial begins to shrink, contained within the balance they've created. The ceiling. With Addison and Nyx holding the balance, the gate begins to seal. Zed limps to her side, offering his zombie spark to strengthen the final seal. 𝗭𝗲 and the werewolves howl in harmony, while Eliza sends one last energy burst from the core. The gate finally closes, shattering the shadow's sanctum and banishing the primordial. The shadekin left behind fall to their knees, no longer shadows, but reformed beings of twilight. Peace returns, though scars remain. The town begins cleanup, and Seabrook breathes again. Addison and Nyx shake hands as allies, not enemies. Farewells and forgiveness. Addison reflects on what she's learned. Light and darkness aren't enemies. They're necessary opposites. Nyx decides to leave Seabrook to rebuild his people somewhere they can start new. Zed and Addison reconnect, stronger than ever, proud of how far they've come. 𝗭𝗲 thanks Bree and Eliza. Acknowledging their bond was the glue in this fight. The townspeople hold a ceremony honoring those who fought and fell. Bonzo writes a song in memory of what was saved and what was lost. Hope returns to the school halls, though eyes still glance at the shadows, just in case. A new legacy. Addison is named Seabrook's official ambassador of unity. Zed gets accepted into Z-Tech with honors, planning to study dimensional energy. Eliza opens a lab combining tech, zombie biology, and ancient knowledge. 𝗭𝗲 starts a new training ground for young werewolves, focused on peacekeeping. Seabrook High unveils a new wing, the Twilight Hall, symbolizing coexistence. The cheer team reforms with members from all species and backgrounds. Peace, however, is not the end, but a beginning of new possibilities. Echoes of the gate. In a post-credit scene, a child playing in the forest finds a strange, glowing shard. It pulses faintly with both shadow and light. As the wind whispers through the trees, a soft growl is heard. Not wolf, not zombie. Back in the core chamber, a console lights up with alien markings. Eliza receives a signal, one not from this galaxy, but beyond. Addison looks to the stars once more, sensing another journey awaits. Zombie 6, the balance may have been restored, but something still stirs in the dark.